What up, y'all? It's T-Tur, and today we're going to be talking about the starters that will be in Pokemon Legends ZA. There's a game we can play to try to figure out what starters will get the same treatment as we got in Legends Arceus, where 3 of them actually got regional variants. A new Samurott, Decidueye, and Typhlosion. So it starts like this. So here we go. Here are all 9 sets of starters in the game. I don't know how there's this many. I swear last time I was paying attention, we were just at these 3. And to start off, the easy pickings are, of course, Cyndaquil's gotta go, Oshawott gotta go, and Rowlet's gotta go. These are the Pokemon that got regional final evolutions in Legends Arceus. Now we got 25. In the same way, when we went to the past of Sinnoh, they didn't re-give attention to the Sinnoh starters. When we go to the past of Kalos, chances are we're not going to be paying attention to the Kalos starters in terms of giving them the regional final evolutions. So that murders Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie. Now at this point, we have to start taking liberties and making assumptions, but trying to be as realistic as possible in how Gamefreak would think. You would think stuff like, there's no shot that Gen 8 and 9 starters would get regional variants so fast, but for some reason they did give Rowlet one, which is a Gen 7 Pokemon, straight up in Gen 8. Which is Legends Arceus, right? And so the first jump we can try to make is they're going to want to give attention to Pokemon that weren't given much attention, right? Starter Pokemon in general don't get many opportunities for revisits like we did with regional variants, fakes, or Paradox Pokemon and all. The closest we got was stuff like Mega Evolution in Gen 6, Gigantamaxes in Gen 8 and all. But specifically to focus on Mega Evolution, because in existence we have Mega Evolutions for the 3 Kanto starters and the 3 Hoenn starters, you would think, first off, they're probably adding in all the existing Mega Evolutions in this game, which there's 48 last I checked, including the 2 Mewtwo's and Charizards. All of those are probably returning. Well, depending on how the lore goes, maybe Mewtwo's and a few of them wouldn't because Mewtwo doesn't exist back then. But what they could do is the same kind of time-space distortions to just mess with reality and have some stuff from the future come in. But either way, to take that leap, that would eliminate the 3 Kanto starters, whose Mega Evolutions would be in the game anyway, and the 3 Hoenn starters, which gives us something easier to work with. I actually think, just to give the series a refreshing and new feel for these games, that one of these 6 would get a regional evolution in this. One I'd want to kick out is Quaxly, because it's actually said in Quaxly's Pokédex entry that it came to Paldea from distant lands. And so back when we were speculating Legends Johto, it was a cool idea that it came from Japan and its final evolution in like a Legends Johto would be this classical Japanese dancing Quaquaval. And I would kick it out because distant lands would imply there's no shot it came from Kalos next door to Paldea to call that distant lands. But it could be something where in general they came from distant lands and they would have ended up in Kalos as well as Paldea. And so the ones in Kalos earlier would have evolved differently while the Paldean ones evolved differently. So even to try to make that hint into something in its Pokédex for these games, it doesn't quite knock it out of the race. Yeah, we're kind of screwed. There's way too many here. What's interesting is the Pokemon that do get these final evolutions might even get Mega Evolutions as well, which is very odd. Mega Evolutions for their regional final evolutions? It's not impossible. So think, right, if you got a new Meganium, you would have a Kalosian Mega Meganium. Anyhow, I suppose we should form some team captains. I suppose the last thing we can try to assume is linking this with something Ku posted, which who knows how relevant it really is, because he posted 2024 predictions and posted 4 regions, which now that we know none of those regions was what this game turned out to be, that if these were hinting something, maybe it was hinting the starters after all. And 3 of these regions would be where the starters come from in this game. But what's odd about it is he says 2024 prediction when this game isn't even coming out then. So either this hint is for something else, but it doesn't really fit into anything else, or he didn't know the release it would be that far in the future. And yeah, I'm gonna ignore the coup for now. So here we go. On Team Chikorita, let's make our teams. So for Chikorita, what we're gonna need is a fire type. So we can have Chimchar as a fire type, or Tepig as a fire. There's so many. There's so many. How are we gonna nail this down? Or Litten is a fire type. Oh my goodness, this is not happening. Here's the thing. Not that it has to be this way, but since they've already tackled Johto, Unova, and Alola, especially to add in variety, there's a chance that those 3 are also the regions that won't be revisited directly a second time in a row. And so what's cool with that is if you take out those 3, we have exactly 3 sets of starters left, which could make for an interesting trio in this game, especially since 2 of those sets are next door to Kalos. We're gonna eliminate them just because we gotta get the numbers down. And so that gives us 3 main teams that we can mess with. So on Team Tepig, we could have Score Bunny and then Quaxley, or Fuecoco and then Sawbull. Okay, so let's just look at these 3. Can you imagine these as the... Look at these 2. They look like cousins. Can you imagine these 3 being in the promotional art for Legends ZA? Turtwig, Score Bunny, and Quaxley. It doesn't look like it. Next, let's go to Team Chimchar. So Chimchar could either have Grookey and then Quaxley. That looks pretty good. That looks better compared to Team Turtwigs. Or it could have, oh my goodness, Sprigatito and Sawbull. Yo. Okay, Team Chimchar looks very good for this game. Both of them. Anyhow, there's only one team left, which is Team Piplup. Let's see how this one looks. So on Piplup's squad, we could have a Score Bunny and then Sprigatito. That looks good too. Or you could have Fuecoco and then Grookey. My favorite 2 are Piplup, Fuecoco, and Grookey for some reason, along with Chimchar, Grookey, and Quaxley. These 2 look like good ones. And you see, once we've had one Legends game where they've gone through and given other starters a chance, then it makes sense in a future Legends game, they start to go back, get another Johto and another Unova and all. Gamefreak isn't really confined to patterns, so they could still do that, but they are organized to an extent. So I just picked what I think is my top 3 picks of each team. So the first 2 have a lot of nostalgia to them, right? Because you've added the first 2 gens. But this one is more spread out, like the first set of Legend Stars we got, right? Gen 2, 5, and 7. So we have 1, 5, and 9. There are a couple more combinations you can make, like if you do Sprigatito, Tepig, and... Oh! Damn, that looks good! Or you could do Fuecoco, Snivy, and Totodile. My dudes, all of these look really good once you take out Kanto. You know what? That's the right move. It's what I was saying before, right? Since they got Megas, there's a decent chance they won't be the starters of this. So to organize them the same way, Sprigatito, Tepig, and that is great. This is a sick one. That is all over the place in a good way. Snivy, Fuecoco, Totodile. Damn, 2 crocodiles. I freaking forgot all about that. And then a serpent. That's like 3 reptiles. And then we have a dinosaur, a pig, and a duck. I think these would be the most fun to consider. And I think kicking out the Kanto starters is the right move. No one knows what the future holds, but I think these make for a good, diverse group of starters. These are nice. The top one especially. There's just all sorts of different colors going on here. So this would make for a new Meowscarada, which you never know. Maybe it's like a grass psychic type this time. A new Emboar, which I can only think you put Emboar back on all 4s. And then a new Fraligator, which that's the same idea again on all 4s. Or keep Fraligator standing up, but the focus is he's got like this giant jaw now. And he's a very slow Pokemon. Anyhow, make sure I shank that like button. I just wanted to help you out think of starters, but this ended up giving me a headache because we really can't nail it down. But the reason it's important to make this video is because the starters would be one of the first things they show us. And so, you know, when that first trailer comes or the second trailer, we're probably going to know the starters. So we might as well speculate and try to figure it out first, because that's what always makes the final reveal more exciting, right? When you go in having speculated an idea first. So I guess type in a combination you think would work for the starters in the comments, and let's see which one of us is right. Anyhow, we got more exciting things to talk about away from the starters, mega evolutions and all. So I'll see you on the next one. Take care.